Hey, it's Mark Coman from Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy. And I know how excited you are to see the pictures I did today. You know, out in the rain, the details. And I'm going to show you how I edit those and go through them. But just a couple things first. So Jeff and Karen and Larry, I want you to recognize the shirt I'm wearing. And I'm missing baseball. And I want to show you some other cool stuff. I learned this trick from the illustrious Bert Hanashiro. So I put 2 pieces of Velcro on my card reader. Now normally this would go right here on the back of the computer so it's safe and sound. Tonight I'm going to leave it right here so you can see. So I've got the Sony camera that I used this afternoon. The power is off on it. I open the back. I'm grabbing the memory card. The memory card is slipping in to the card reader. And since I'm on a Mac, this is going to come up here on the desktop. Come on, cooperate here. Come on, guys. Well, you know, sometimes it just doesn't do it right. So I have to replug in here. All right, come on. There we go. So here it is on the desktop, untitled folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm using Finder here on the Mac. If you're a PC person, you'd be using Windows Explorer. And there's other ways to do it, but this is just the way I do it. I double click on the folder, DCIM. That's the folder that the camera made. So I shot this with the Sony camera today. And here are all the files. So there's a bunch of files on here. And what I'm going to do, oh, you know what? I forgot to erase the card yesterday. So I'm going to grab just the files I shot today. And I'm going to Command C to copy those. I'm going to open up the folder called Be Creative. That's where they're going because this is from the Be Creative series. Command V. And here it's going to copy all those photos into the folder. There we go. Come on. Don't get stuck there. Keeps going. Good. Awesome. Now I close this. Close this. And now on the Mac, I'm going to hit Command E and eject the memory card. So now I can physically remove the memory card from the computer. And I know now that I've got 2 copies of all those photos. So you can look at these photos now here by going to the thumbnail view. And that's one way to do it. You can go to the preview here and scroll through them this way. But this is a slow and tedious process. And many of you commented from other stuff that I've seen that you don't like this process. I agree with you. So we're not going to use preview. We're not going to use any more of the Mac or the Windows software to edit our photos. So now we have to leave and go to the Adobe environment. So I am opening up Adobe Bridge. So if you're a serious photographer, you'll either be using Lightroom, and that's the Lightroom Classic, the full version of Lightroom, or Photoshop. I recommend the subscription version. It's $10 a month. Now there's rumors out there that Adobe's giving it away for free for the next couple months to help everybody out. So maybe this is the time to try it. But here in the folder Be Creative, I can see that I have 2 copies of each photo, right? Why do I have 2 copies? Because I had the camera set to RAW plus JPEG. So why do I do that? When I'm shooting with a camera that I'm not familiar with, I just want to make sure that the images come in and I get them. So since I don't use the Sony all the time, I shot RAW plus JPEG, but the images came in, I can read them with the computer. So now I'm in Bridge, I'm going to hit Command A, View, Sort by image type. And what it's going to do now is going to put all the JPEGs at the bottom. So I'm going to scroll up, take all these JPEG images, and I'm going to delete them. I don't need them anymore because I have the RAW files, and I can see the RAW files. So here's the photo I did yesterday. Here's the photo I did the day before. So here are the RAW files, and now I can very quickly scroll through these. And oh, see, look at these are okay, but look at this. I mean, this is just spectacular. And you can see the drops of water on the leaves. So now I'm going to go through. I like that framing better. I like that framing better. So I'm going to put a star next to this one. I'm going to take those other ones. Bye-bye. They're gone. Right? Now I just keep moving through. You know, I like the vertical one here. That's nice, right? I like the tire one, so this one's going to go away. And you can see how fast this is to edit your photos. And so now I'm going to go through. Right there, I missed the focus. That's nice. Right? So I like that little leaf there in the bottom. Let's see. Right here, I like this one a lot. That one, that one. I like that one. I'm going to put a star next to it. I'm going to come in here and check the focus. Focus is real sharp. You can see I'm using the loop tool right here. Awesome. So now, very quickly, right, of the 25 or 30 photos I shot today, right, I'm down to 3. And when you're a photographer who shoots a lot of pictures like I am, you have to be able to do that. You got to get down close. So here I am, 1, 2, 3 images, right? So this is pretty cool, right? I really like the look of this one. I really like the feel for it. So now I'm going to open that up I double click on it, and it's going to come up in Adobe Camera Raw. So a Camera Raw is the intermediary program between Bridge and Photoshop. If you're in Lightroom, if you double click from the library module, which is where you start, you go to the develop module and you have these same tools. So I can adjust the color temperature of the image. I can adjust the exposure by looking at the histogram here. So I think this needs to come down a little bit. There you go, look at that. That's very nice, right? My highlight, shadow, exposure is all good. I'm going to take the saturation, go up a little bit because it was an overcast day today when I shot this. And this is very cool. I really like the look and feel of this photo. I like the focus on it. You know, the Sony did a great job. And, you know, the camera is no worse for wear for being out in the rain today. You know, I dry off, the camera dries off, and you're able to expand your shooting. You're able to expand your photo time, your ability to take photos. So now I'm going to open the image in Photoshop. And what am I going to do? I'm going to look at this image and look for things I need to change. First thing I need to change is this errant leaf here in the corner. So I'm going to use the spot healing brush. By using the brackets command, I'm going to change the spot healing brush and bam, make that a little bit bigger. I don't like this little dead spot right there. So spot healing brush. I'm going to go a little smaller on the spot healing brush. All right. I'm just going to clean up all this stuff that I don't like. Now, sometimes spot healing brush doesn't work. Right? So you have to go in and use the full cloning tool, which on this image, it doesn't look like we need to do. So that's a pretty clean image. It's pretty good. You know, when I chose this leaf out in the field, I chose it because it was clean. What do I mean by clean? It didn't have, oops, there's a couple of dead spots right there. Boom, I'm making them go away because we need it to look presentable. We need it to look exciting. Now, one of the things I don't like about the image is there's brightness around the edge. So what am I going to do? There's a lot of ways to adjust this, and I prefer to do this in software that's called Nik software. For those of you who've been with me before and taken some of my classes, you know that how much I love Nik. And so I'm going to go to my second favorite Nik piece of software, and that's Nik Viveza, because I'm going to leave this as a color image. So what Nik allows me to do is very quickly go through the image and lighten and darken. So I see this upper left-hand corner as being too bright. I'm going to do what's called a control point. I'm going to select this area. I'm going to adjust the circle size. And I'm going to go down on brightness. See how that takes that corner down? But one of the things you need to remember, because I took the corner down, the color saturation increased. So I need to take the color saturation down just as much as I took the brightness. And now I can grab a new control point, go right here, adjust the size of the circle again. And now it's not darkening or lightening what's in the circle. It's darkening what is the same as the pixels that I selected that's in that area, right? And so now I'm taking the saturation down. And now, if I want to, I could do another control point here, or by holding the Option key down, I can grab this control point and copy it and move it. Or hold the Option and copy it and move it. You see how that works? So now I can take that same degree of darkness and move it to other areas in the scene, other areas in the picture, so that I keep continuity. So the last thing we want to do when we're editing a picture is show the audience how we did it by leaving telltales or mistakes behind. So as I take this around, right? Now, some of you are saying this is cheating. Could Ansel Adams have done this by burning and dodging in the darkroom? Absolutely yes. And that's one of the controls that we have here in the computer, is to selectively lighten and darken to make the picture have a focus. So you see how the focus on this picture is completely changed? So I'm going to go here in the views to left and right. So left and right is before, right is after. Look at what I've done. I've focused your eye on the leaf in the center. And that's what I want to do. So now I'm going to add a control point. I'm going to come over here. And by adding a control point with no adjustment, it takes away the darkness that I put other places. Now the other trick I'm going to do here to this point, I'm going to add some structure. And you're going to love what structure does. And I'm going to copy that. 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 Now this up here got a little too bright, so I'm going to darken it just a little bit. And because this is part of my main part of the image, I'm not going to take the saturation down. I want that to pop out from it. Look at what I've done. See how I've directed your eye in the picture? That's what we're doing in Photoshop. That's what we want our computer editing to do, is to make the picture look like what you want. Now, I clicked it to save it. What happened here? Did I lose it? It looks like, gang, I lost it. I had a mistake. So that happens. I mean, it happens all the time. So now I go back to Bridge. I open the image again. So now pretty much we got to start all over again because we had an error. So it remembers, what we did on this image, right? So it does that. I'm going to open it again. So now I got to go back with the healing brush and re-heal all those parts that I did before, which is okay. I mean, I just spent a few minutes on it, so I never mind. One of the things you have to worry about is how much time you spend on Photoshop. And I have, in my photography, a 3-minute rule. So I won't work on an image over 3 minutes. So I'm spending a little bit longer than that because I'm talking to you and not just editing. Now, before I saw these little white spots down here, and I didn't like them after I darkened the image, so I am just going to take those out. I'm going to leave a couple of them because I don't want to take them all away, but for the predominance of it, I'm going to just remove those because that was too bright down in the corner. So some dead spots here, the dead spots up here, right? So I'm kind of working at my normal speed here, so you can see how fast I usually work. I'll go to Vivesa. Come on, Nick. Here we go. Okay, here it comes in Vivesa. Control point. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to select that area. I'm going to darken it about 20%. And I'm going to take saturation down about 20%. And I'm just going to start copying that circle and moving it across, right? So that I'm selectively darkening. So bottom line, what I'm doing is if you were a darkroom person, you would recognize that I'm burning in the top of the picture, right? I'm making it darker. And why am I doing that? Because I want to focus your eye to the center of the picture or to, I'm just moving this control point over here, to here, to there. Come on back. So I want to make your eye come to this 1, 2, 3 leaves. So that's how I want the image to be. That's what I want it to look like when I'm done. So when people ask me, Mark, how do you play in Photoshop? I never play in Photoshop. I'm using Photoshop to make the picture what I want you to see, and I want to use Photoshop to help me direct your eye to get you where I want you to go. So you can see I've done just about what we did before. It's always slightly different, and that's one of the things I love about it. It's never the same twice. Oh, I forgot to come back here and brighten this area, right? Add the little bit of structure, right? And so now I'm gonna come back in. And I didn't brighten the area. What I did by putting the control point there, it just took off the control point that I had added, because sometimes it's gonna overwrite from the other areas. So now I'm gonna hit OK. And Nik Software is saving it so you can see the image. And one of the cool things here about Nik Software, Window, Layers, if you know about Photoshop, it saves it as a layer. So here's my Viveza layer. I can take it on and off, right, like that. Very cool. So this is the image as I like it. So now I can go in using the healing brush, and I see a couple more spots that I need to get rid of or clean up a little bit. All right. And that looks pretty cool, right? I like that. My last step here is Command L for levels, and now I can adjust the overall lightness and darkness of the scene, right? And by adjusting the levels, look at how rich that got. Oh my gosh, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So this is an image that I am, pretty proud of. And you were with me today in the backyard when we shot it, out in the rain. It's pretty cool. I'm going to go one more spot with the spot healing brush right in here and clean up that little bit of dead stuff to make this a little bit finer. All right. Awesome. So there we go. So now, one more spot down here and there and there. Awesome. So now I'm going to file, save as, and if I save it, it will be a PSD file with the layer separated. I'm going to hit OK to save that PSD because that is a file that I can come back and re-edit. And then the last step is I go to Layers, Flatten Image. So I've taken those layers and I compress them into one. So I only have one layer now. I can't separate what I did with Nik with Photoshop. And then I'm going to File, Save As, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. And why do I say it as a JPEG? That's what I'm going to paste on. That's what I'm going to post on Facebook in a little bit. That's what I'm going to use to edit. To print when I go to print this. So now I hit, and I'm going to add the A to the front because that's my nomenclature that this is a done image ready to be printed. If you want to learn more about that, take my online organizing class that goes through that. And so now this image is done. The last step here is I go to image size, and you can see, since I made this picture with the Sony a7R4, it's a 60 megapixel image, that makes a 20 by 30 print. I can't post that. I can't share it. It's too big. So I make the image 7 inches tall. That's going to make a little bit less than a 5 by 7, 2,000 pixels wide. Hit OK. And now I'm going to save this file, save as, to my desktop, so that now in a minute I am going to post this on Facebook so that you can all see it. So I save it here on the desktop, hit OK, and now I have an image that's ready to share. So when you look at this image on Facebook, you'll see this is Mark Coman from Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy, inviting you to join us in our creative quest, join us in our stay at home, our protection of being separate from each other, but still being creative. Sure, interact with your family, interact with my photo community and any photo community. Take your pictures, edit them, post them. Remember, we're going to post them at hashtag Paul's Photo, hashtag Creative Photo Academy, and hashtag hashtag we're all together, so you can see these. And that's where you're going to see them. I hope you're going to follow me. And if you wait, in just a minute, I'm going to process another picture, and we're going to make that a black and white. Ooh, black and white. It's going to be so cool. I hope you enjoy it. Talk to you in a little bit. Bye.